Good morning all the students. Today we will see the calculation of the design seismic force by static analysis method. Already we have solved one numerical example based on the same static method in our last lecture. Today we will continue with some more examples of the static analytical method, as because this type of numerical is always asked in your examination, which carry about 14 marks. Okay, so let us start with some different examples of static analysis. Okay, so let us consider a numerical, a 4-story reinforced concrete school building. Okay, the school building is mentioned here as shown in figure. The figure is there in your next slide. The building is located in Nagpur. Okay, so building is located in Nagpur, as Nagpur is located in seismic zone number 2 as per IS 1893/2002. Okay, second is the soil parameter. The soil conditions are hard soil. Okay, that is, hard soil means the foundation which is rest on the soil, and the type of soil is hard soil, and the entire building is supported on the rough foundation. Okay, so this is the next parameter. Then third is the RC frame are infilled with brick masonry. Okay, so whatever the RC frame structure is constructed, and it is fully infilled with a brick masonry. Then next is the lump weight due to the dead load is 10 kilonewton per meter square on the floor and 8 kilonewton per meter square on the roof. Okay, so this parameter is given. Then the floor are catered for live load of 4 kilonewton per meter square on floor and 1.5 kilonewton per meter square on the roof. Okay, so this is the live load parameter is given. Then we have to calculate the design seismic load on the structure as per IS 1893/2002. So let us see what is the diagram. So this is basically a diagram which is given. This is along x-axis and along y-axis. This is a plan of the structure is there. Okay, so there are 1 2 3 4 5 bays are there along x, and 4 bays are there along the y-axis. Okay, so the dimension is also given, 5 meter on each side. Next is the elevation parameter. So this is the overall height of the building is given. Okay, this is the elevation. So we have to consider both plan and elevation in our analytical procedure. So let us see. First of all, in solution, the first and foremost important part is the design parameter. So as we know that the Nagpur is situated in seismic zone number 2, and the zone factor Z is 0.1. If you see the annexure A on page number 36 of IS 1893/2002, so you will get this parameter 0.1 Z for Nagpur region. Okay, so please refer page number 36 of IS 1893. Okay, then being a school building, as we have already given, the type of building is school building, so therefore the importance factor I will be considered as 1.5. It is also available in table number 6 of IS 1893. So 1.5 parameter is considered for I from table number 6. Now third is that building is required to provide with a moment resisting frame detail. Okay, so in seismic design we can analyze our structure as per the moment resisting frame or as per a simple SMRF frame, simple moment resisting frame. Okay, so there are two parameter available as per IS 13920/1993. So this IS 13920/1993 is nothing but a ductile detailing code. So this code is also applicable in our syllabus. So by using this syllabus or by using this code, we will see how to do the detailing, how to do the detailing of the reinforced concrete structure. Okay, so hence the response reduction factor R is equal to 5. So it is available in table number 7 of IS 1893. Okay, Now next is seismic weight. So let us see how seismic weight is calculated. So basically the floor area is 15 by 20. If you see the plan, the total plan area, cover area, outer area is 15 by 20. Therefore the total area will become 300 square meter. So therefore the live load class is 4 kilonewton per meter. So only 50% live load is to be catered or is to be considered or lump at the floor as per IS 1893 criteria, and at roof level no live load is to be considered. Okay, so the total seismic weight on the floor will be calculated as for W1, W2, W3. These are the floor calculation. 300 is already we have calculated the area of the total floor area into 12. 12 is the load intensity is given plus 0.5 into 4. 0.5 by 50% is considered to be for the live load case. So by this way we can calculate the total weight of the floor. Okay, but not a roof floor. Next is roof. W4 is equal to 300 into 10, so that is equal to 3000 kilonewton meter. So it is calculated as per clause number 7.3.1 table number 8 IS 1893 part 1. So this calculation will be done based on this table. Okay, so therefore the total seismic weight of the structure will become W equal to summation of Wi, that will be equal to 3 into 4200 plus 3000. So this will be the total lump weight which is to be acting on the structure, 15,600 kilonewton. Next step is to calculate the fundamental time period. So if you see the clause number 7.6.2, there is a formula available in IS 1893 part 1 for the building of a regular building of brick infill structure. So lateral load resisting is provided by the moment resisting frame infilled with the brick masonry, and hence the approximate fundamental time period can be calculated as, so as we are having a two direction, because we are having the dimension which is available in the plan is different. Okay, because in x direction the total dimension is different, and whereas y direction the total dimension is different. So if the dimension is different along x and y, then in that case we have to calculate the seismic forces both in x and y direction. Okay, so let us consider the forces in calculation for forces in x direction. So EL is an earthquake load in x direction. So T is equal to 0.09 H by root D. Okay, H is the total height of the building, D is the base dimension. Okay, D is the base dimension. So 0.09 H, if you consider the elevation drawing, so based on that elevation you can calculate this 13.8 divided by root 20, that is the base dimension, that is equal to 0.28 second Tx. Okay, in x direction. So similarly for that calculation of AHX, that is design horizontal acceleration. So building is located on type 2 soil, that is a medium soil, hard soil. So therefore from figure number 2 IS 1893 T is equal to 0.28 second and SA by G. If you see the page number 16 of IS 1893, you will directly get this value SA by G based on your soil parameter. Now AHX equal to Z by 2 I by R SA by G. So this formula is available on as per the clause number 6.4.2. Okay, IS 1893. So this formula is available. You just put this entire value and you will get the answer of AHX. Okay, then finally base shear. So VBX equal to AH into W. So AH we have already calculated in previous step, and W is already calculated in last step. So therefore 0.0375 into 15,600. Okay, so that is equal to 585 total base shear is acting in x direction. Similarly for y direction also we have to calculate again the time period. The formula will be same, but only that base dimension will be different. Base dimension along this is 15. Okay, so here the time period 0.32 SA by G will be same. Okay, soil parameter is same. AHY is equal to 0.0375 and VBY equal to 0.0375. Okay, here VBY must be equal to 585. Okay, here there is a mistake. VBY should be 585 because we have to multiply 0.0375 into this factor 15,600. Therefore VBY will be equal to 585 here also. Okay, so next is lateral load distribution with height by static method. So initially we have to consider the story level. We have to consider from top to bottom. Fourth story, that is a roof story, then third story, second story, first story. Okay, we have to write the weight which is already given in your numerical. Okay, then HI we have to calculate very carefully. HI, the uppermost height is 13.8. okay, then below that, third floor, so this height will be calculated from bottom to the respective floor. So 4.2 is the height from bottom to first story. 7.4 height will be the story height calculated from the bottom to the second story level. Similarly, we have to calculate till roof story, that is 13.8. Then formula is WIHI square into 1000. 1000 is not there because as the answer he will give in terms of 10 to the power 3, therefore here it is considered as 1000. So we have to multiply 3000 into HI square. So the answer will be 571.3 10 to the power 3. So we have considered 10 to the power 3 as common. So therefore here we have considered 1000. Okay, so 571.3, 471.9, 230 and 74. We have to sum this, then we will get 1347.3. Okay, then similarly the next part is WIHI square divided by summation of WIHI. So this is the formula. So we have to multiply this WIHI individual, okay, divided by this summation value. We will get 0.0, 0.424, similarly 0.350, 0.171, 0.055. Okay, now how to calculate the x direction forces? Okay, so you have to multiply this 0.424 into VB. VB is this that you have calculated, this VB 585. So if you multiplied 585 with this values, you will get this for 248 because in both the cases we have already seen that the VB, that is the base shear which is calculated in x and y direction, is 585. So therefore the answer will be same for both the cases. Just you have to multiply the respective this formula value and you will get the answer. Okay, so this is for 248 acting at point top story, then at third story, then at second story, and then first story. Okay, so by this way we can calculate the total horizontal earthquake force in x and y direction. Okay, so let us see the distribution part. So this two diagram is very important, okay, in the last. So this diagram is called as a base shear calculation or base shear diagram, and this diagram is called lateral load distribution diagram. Okay, so let us see how to calculate the base shear at each story. So we know that at the top part we have already calculated 248 this. So you have to just write 248. Then you have to sum the respective value along with the previous value. So 248 plus 204, where the 204 comes from, this third story value is there. So 248 plus 204.75, you will get 452.75. Similarly 452.75 plus 100, this value, this, and you will get this. Then similarly at the last you will get this. So by calculating the base shear, we can conclude that at the bottom you will get the maximum base shear, irrespective of the type of the dimension, okay, irrespective of the location of the building, okay, irrespective of the various factor, seismic factor we have considered in our numerical. Okay, so whatever numerical you will consider in the seismic analysis, you will always get the maximum base shear at the bottom. Okay, so therefore by this way we can design our building in such a way that our bottom column and beam should be very strong, because as per the analytical procedure we can see that the maximum base shear is acting at the bottom. So therefore right from the bottom itself the structural configuration of the building must be very tough or very stiff होना चाहिए. So therefore we have to design, or we have to give the size of the beam and column, okay, in such a way that it should resist much more bending shear and as well as the base shear, okay, in the bottom as compared to the top story. Okay, next is your lateral load distribution. So in lateral load distribution, you just draw the frame of the building, and then story wise you have to apply the horizontal load that we have already calculated in our previous table. So 248, 204.75, 100 and 32.7. So this much diagram and calculation you required to get the maximum 14 marks in your examination. And one thing you must remember, that this type of numerical is always asked in your examination under unit number 4. Okay, only the parameters and the situation and the conditions and the type of the soil and these some seismic parameter may change, but the analytical procedure and the formulae and calculation method will be same. Okay, so this is the design seismic force which is acting on the building. Okay, and one more important thing I would like to share with you regarding this numerical is that you can ask why this horizontal lateral load is to be acting or apply at the junction point of beam and column or at the nodal point. So the answer is very simple, because we know that in building, in RC building, the most weakest part is the joint. So therefore we have to apply the design lateral horizontal seismic force at a particular node and joint only. We cannot simply apply these forces anywhere on the building. Okay, we must apply the horizontal force at the exterior joint of the building. So because of that horizontal effect, okay, the building will try to deflect, okay, according to the direction of the load acting. Okay, so this is the basic steps of the calculation of the design seismic force, okay, as per IS 1893. So we will see some more numerical based on that in our next lecture. Okay, so thank you for your kind attention. Thank you.